Formula One will return to Austin for the US Grand Prix this week, with the Circuit of the Americas hosting the race for the 9th time. And in 2022, Formula One fans will see a second Grand Prix in the US as drivers compete at the Miami International Autodrome. However, one thing that you likely won't see at either circuit is an American F1 driver. In the history of Formula One, only 19 drivers from America have contested in 10 or more events, and there have only been 2 world champions from the US, Mario Andretti and Phil Hill. The last time fans saw any driver from the US was back in 2015, when Alexander Rossi drove 5 times for Manor Marussia. Yet we have to go back to 2006 and 1993 in order to find a full-time American F1 driver, and neither were particularly successful. Scott Speed joined Toro Rosso in 2006, but in the entirety of the season he failed to score a single point and was outperformed by his teammate. Speed signed to continue driving with the team for the 2007 season, but he had a disappointing start and was dismissed partway through the year. Similarly, Michael Andretti, the son of Mario, had a rather difficult time when he joined Formula One in 1993. Andretti joined McLaren as Ayrton Senna's teammate, and there were huge expectations for him to perform strongly. However, Andretti lacked consistency, repeatedly crashing, and only managing to finish in the points on 3 occasions. With 3 races remaining in 1993, Andretti left the team and the championship by mutual consent after Monza, and was replaced by Mika Hakkinen. But why have there only been 3 American drivers in F1 in the past 28 years? Let's have a look at the reasons. The pathway to Formula One is usually defined by drivers going from karting into junior single-seaters such as F4, F3 and F2 before graduating to F1. However, the first step of karting automatically poses a problem for any American hopefuls. While there are karting leagues in the US, very few are comparable with the European and Asian championships. But let's say you excel in the Superkarts USA and the International Kart Federation and decide it's time to move on to the junior single-seaters of F4 and F3. Well, this is where you'll hit the next stumbling block, as you'll need to have a lot of money and very supportive parents, because you will be required to move to Europe. Both Alexander Rossi and Scott Speed have stated this is the major reason American drivers aren't represented in Formula One. On the Motormouth podcast, Rossi said, "It's very difficult to convince parents to move their lives while their kid is 12 to 15 years old, to drop out of school and for the most part be homeschooled and go live and race in Europe. That's the number one reason in my mind why you don't see more American guys give it a go, just because of the commitment. Your entire family's life has to change, and I was very fortunate to have the parental support to go do that." And Speed added, "It is financially impossible for almost all kids growing up racing karts to move to Europe. Finding the funding to do so is almost impossible, and without doing that, F1 may as well be happening on Mars." Even Aston Martin's Otmar Szafnauer, the American with the most experience as an F1 team principal, said that young Americans looking to break into Formula One would have to compete in Europe. He said, "I think you have to spend time in the junior formulas in Europe. I don't know what he's doing now, but there was an American last year, a kid from Florida. He did all his junior racing in Europe, but I don't know what he's doing now." The kid from Florida that Szafnauer is referencing is 20-year-old Logan Sargeant. Sargeant made the jump to European racing, competing in the F4 British Championship and Formula Renault Euro Cup before joining the Formula 3 Championship in 2019. Whilst he finished 19th in the standings that year, he did outperform one of his teammates. This was enough for him to make the move to Prema Racing in 2020, where he finished 3rd in the championship. But whilst his closest rivals graduated to Formula 2, where seats cost in excess of $1 million, Sargeant didn't, citing financial reasons. It's no surprise, therefore, that American talent would find other series more appealing, especially given that their country already has a very rich and diverse racing culture. For example, one of their most popular racing series, NASCAR, was born from the 18th Amendment in the US Constitution, which banned the manufacture, transportation and sale of alcoholic beverages in a period known as Prohibition. Stock cars were modified during the 1920s to help alcohol producers outrun the police. These modified cars could reach incredible speeds and were later used to race on the weekends as a source of entertainment. Soon, stock car racing proved popular amongst the masses, and in 1948, the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing was created. However, this doesn't mean we won't ever see an American race again in Formula One. In recent weeks, IndyCar's Colton Herta has been linked with Antonio Giovinazzi's Alfa Romeo seat. And earlier this year, 13-year-old Carter Yugo Yugachukwu signed a long-term deal with McLaren. Are there any American drivers, such as Jack Crawford or Cameron Dass, that you'd like to see in Formula One? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video as well, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content in the future. Until next time, bye!